We sent this to the clerk last week prior to the May 1st deadline, based on the statute of House Bill 436, and we did that based on the recommendation of Seth Grigg from Idaho Association of Counties. Not that we necessarily intend to, but just as a placeholder, especially where Pocatello is retiring one and opening up another one, we wanted to just have that placeholder in. So I submitted a letter. So.
And this is the ambulance district.
And this is for the ambulance district. So probably need to go into the ambulance district to ratify this as the Board of Ambulance District, or can we just do it as the Board of Commissioners?
I think you can do it just as the Board of Commissioners
Okay.
under the statute, because it's the Board of Commissioners that acts on withdrawing from the urban renewal plan.
Okay. All right, so with that, I would entertain a motion to ratify that letter.
I would go ahead and make that motion that we go ahead and ratify the letter that was sent.
Okay, we have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And that brings us to the claims agenda. Any issues or any questions on anything in the claims agenda? We have invoices, commissioners' reports, salary approval forms, payroll report, certificate of residency, mileage reimbursement request, a technology request form, and a cardholder usage authorization. Any questions on any of those things?
No. I make a motion to go ahead and approve the items on the consent agenda.
Okay, we have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Just you, isn't it? Or is it all of us?
I think it's got all of us on there. So. It's kind of a funky one, but
No, that's just,
I thought it said commissioner.
oh, down further.
You know what? Let's just do this. That way we're not shuffling back up there. We'll put the pressure on you to go fast.
Same one, or is there? Multiple. All the votes are all beer and wine.
Oh. How'd that happen?
Discretionary here. There's quite a pile of them.
I see how you guys are working.
Kerry beat you to that one. I didn't get to see you. 10 o'clock for service.
Has everything else been signed? Okay, well, I guess we'll be at recess. Well, see if the Forest Service is here.
We'll have a lull.
I'm guessing they might not be, because Kim is no longer there.
Come on in.
Come on in, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Is it your daughter that's my neighbor?
It is.
I don't remember.
You got all right and right on it. Where do you want to sit?
I don't care, pick a spot. Yeah, if you can catch your mom.
I went over one day, saw somebody over there. It was your son, I guess.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
You guys will be here for this.
Meeting is this.
No.
Okay. What
So,
is it?
so you guys getting your workload down?
My son's for prosecutors.
No, he's,
See what you think.
Job security,
I
huh?
don't care. I'm just trying to get the ends.
If you call it that.
Yeah.
Gotta get through them all.
Hold on.
keep it in, yeah.
Who wants to be the representative for the Forest Service today? Dan and Clint? Chris? Okay, come on up. Did you bring the whole crew with you today?
I did.
Is there anybody out in the forest today? Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Go ahead and introduce yourselves, and the floor is yours.
Thank you. Yeah, so my name is Chris Colt. First of all, I guess we'd just like to start by saying we've had a lot of turnover with the Forest Service, as you probably know. Kim Obley, that you've worked with extensively, has just retired. We're feeling the loss. Kim was a great supervisor. But, I've stepped in as the detailer in between Kim and whoever comes next.
Okay.
So, with that, we brought some of our fire staff to help kind of tell the story or let you know what's going on.
Okay.
A couple projects we just want to make you aware of. You probably are already. One is our Rowley Canyon project. It's just this side of Mlad Summit. It's largely a prescribed fire mechanical treatment project. About 1,400 acres. To date, we've done 750 acres of that. The intent of the project is twofold. One, wildlife, particularly big game, winter range habitat improvement. But then second, overall forest health, try to reduce potential fire spread in that area. The second project is the Stone King project, which is actually not in Bannock County, it's in Caribou County, but it abuts right up against us here. It's on the upper Portneuf Range, just on the other side, basically from Pebble to Topance in that area. It's a 3,000 acre project that we've started on. We've got about 250 acres of forest thinning in there, and it's a similar type project in that it's a forest health and fire reduction, fire spread reduction type project. It'll help the area.
So with that one, are you logging? Is that what you're doing?
There will be some logging that goes on with that project. So far, we haven't done that. We're not ready to put that out for contract yet, but we will be. And there's what we call the 013 road, but the road that goes from Inman all the way up over and down into Big Springs. We totally reworked that road and took it from a pretty rough road to a pretty nice road now.
So is that gate open now?
Not yet. It will. The lower gate will open here on the 15th,
Okay.
and the upper gate will open in a month. Once the
Okay.
conditions dry off.
Is that earlier than you normally open it, or is it?
No, that's our standard time.
Standard
May
time.
15th for our lower gates,
Okay.
June 15th for the upper gates.
Okay.
The third project, again, which I know you're aware of, Kim has spoken with you about it, is our Lower Topance project. So it's all around Pocatello City here, and there's three purposes with that project. The first is the wildland urban interface fire reduction potential. Second is overall forest health, and then the third is just fuels reduction in the forest. So we're really trying to address the fire issue here against Pocatello in Bannock County. We had a public meeting the other day. It was very well attended. I would estimate several hundred people were there. Lots of concern over that project. My sense of that is that we were able to put a lot of people's mind at ease. The concern is, what are you doing to my forest? I don't want it to change. We didn't have a lot of people concerned about fire, which continually surprises me. They were concerned about loss of recreational opportunity, foreseen potential loss of that opportunity, and a change to the way the forest looks. And we were able to talk to them about our concept of that project. We're wanting to move through the forest at a smaller, slower pace. It's a big project, it's 12,000 acres, but move through that at a reasonable pace where we won't interrupt recreational opportunities, but we can make a big difference on potential fire spread to the community. So I think that public meeting went well.
Do you have any forecasts for the fire season this year?
We do, we're going to talk about that today.
Okay.
Yeah, certainly. So yeah, I just want to present those kind of fire-wise projects that we're working on and let you know that. And then we've got Mike Johnson. I'll let Mike introduce himself to talk about fire.
Good morning, Commissioner. So, yeah, I'm Mike Johnston. I manage the fire program for the Caribou-Targhee National Forest and the Curlew National Grasslands. Got a few folks here from the Forest Fire Program to support us. I was going to cover some staffing, some updates on some agreements that tie into Bannock County here for sure, and the outlook that everybody's always interested in, see how good our crystal ball is this year. So staffing wise, the Forest has one of the bigger programs in the region. We have a Type 2 initial attack 20-person crew stationed in Island Park. They're staffed fairly well this year. We had to rebuild that crew over the last 2 years, but we're doing pretty good to get that crew back to full capacity. So they'll be available all summer. We have 3 helicopters that we manage on the Caribou-Targhee, 2 Type 3 helicopters, they're the smaller ones, and 1 Type 1 helicopter. The Type 1 helicopter is a national resource and it's always going to go wherever the priority fires are in the country. The 2 Type 3s are more of a local ship, but we're losing a little bit of control over those these days with how things are being managed nationally. They are also prioritizing those, but we're hoping to have at least one of our helicopters around through the summer. They come on June 20th, both of those helicopters, and are available a couple days after that, after they do their training and contract inspections. We have 12 fire engines on the forest. All of them are staffed pretty well, except for the 2 we had in DuBois this year. We just weren't able to get people in DuBois. So one of those trucks we actually loaned to the Salmon Chalice, and then the other one we're probably going to bring down here to Pocatello because Dan has really good staffing here on the Port Nip zone here in this area. So that'll be available for the forest as well as 10 other engines. We also have a fire module based out of Montpelier. It's staffed pretty well. It's a 10-person fire module ready to go. And then, you know, we've certainly had some turnover at the overhead ranks. I won't go into that a little too much, but we have a couple vacant positions that'll stretch us staffing wise a little bit, but we'll be okay. We'll work through it. As far as agreements go, we do have some changes. Like all of our agreements, we usually do 5-year agreements with all the fire departments and all the people we work with here in East Idaho. And those all expired, so we've had pretty heavy agreement workload this year to get all those in place. And those are going to be going out for signature here over the next couple weeks. We're using a new avenue to build a more robust agreement that allows us to work just increases our capacity to work across East Idaho. It's called a subgeographic agreement, and every fire department in East Idaho that's signed up with IDL on a cooperative mobilization agreement can sign up on the subgeographic agreement, and then we can use these resources across East Idaho to move people back and forth to wherever the priority fires are. It allows us some latitude in a few areas. The departments in your area that are able to sign on to that have ICMAs, I think, it's just Pocatello right now. And Fort Hall, I guess, sounds like they'll be able to sign on to it. And we're hoping to get all the fire departments on that in the future. But those that don't have that cooperative mobilization agreement with IDL, we're doing individual agreements with those departments, Chubbuck, North Bannock, Pocatello Valley, and we'll be getting all those in place, and that allows us to work at least locally within proximity to our jurisdictions with each other to provide a reciprocal fire response in those areas. We're also establishing agreements with the rural fire protection associations in East Idaho. We don't have one down here yet, but we have one by Idle Falls, Henry's Creek, and one up by DuBois, Camas. So those are also just allows us to work well together and increase each other's capacity when we're responding to fire. So that's it on agreements. Outlook, yeah, it's always anybody's guess, honestly. But we had a pretty good briefing yesterday from the National Weather Service. The Great Basin Coordination Center based in Salt Lake covers this area as well from a fire behavior standpoint, fire potential standpoint. Looking at snowpack over the last winter, spring rains that really haven't been there like they normally have. There's certainly probably a elevated potential of having a fire, above average fire season, but right now there's not enough confidence in that to say, yes, we're expecting high fire danger in this area right now. There's still a lot of variables that can play out between now and July, August, September, heart of the winter, that could change that. So it honestly is anybody's guess, but you know, if you're flipping a coin, I'd probably err on the side of saying that we probably are going to have a little better fire season this year, or worse, depending on your perspective, I guess. Yeah, so happy to answer any questions you have. I think at this point, you know, we've had a lot of changes that are going to, you know, that are creating some distractions within the fire program, but our focus is on preparedness, and I'm confident we're going to be ready to go for fire season.
So with some of the cuts that you guys have experienced, will you rely more on local help? These agreements you've got in place, will you be requiring or needing more help?
Yeah, so I'm also an incident commander for one of the national incident management teams, and we rely largely on, you know, the firefighters fight fires, but we need a lot of support people to manage logistics, finance, etc. And my concern is that some of the, you know, the cuts in the federal government might affect that support. Don't know how that's going to play out, but those agreements do allow us to utilize the fire departments both locally and nationally to fill in needs where needed. And certainly we've recognized this for years and years, that we need to do more to help each other out from a capacity standpoint. When there's big fires on the landscape, it's all hands on deck.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any questions, comments?
Well, we have quite an audience here. I was wondering if anybody had, you know, positive stories or negative stories or concerns.
I was going to ask Blaine with the BLM if he wanted to chime in. I know it's Forest Service time, but we've got Blaine here from the BLM. Might as well come on up and.
Yeah, I do have a little positive info. So, you know, overall there's a lot of cuts, but just some recent change with BLM Pocatello Field Office. Last year.
Let me stop you for a minute and introduce yourself for the record, please.
Sorry, yeah, I'm Blaine Newman, the field manager with BLM Pocatello Field Office. Sorry. But yeah, last year I came, we had some, we were a little opposite. We had some vacancies relative to fire with commissioners. Usually our agency administrator is a primary contact, which is usually me, but I'd like to introduce Bryce Anderson and Chris Johansson. Were both hired mid-summer last year and are working on getting fully qualified as agency administrators. So we just wanted to come and introduce them, and if you'd like, we can leave contact information for any of those. If we get any, you know, fires don't start at convenient times, I've added my personal cell and my contact. Yes, you probably have mine. If you'd like, we can leave all three of our contact info with you guys. If something starts in, you know, that you ever have any concern, know that's a part of our deal, is coordination with the county. So just
Great.
feel free to call if you have questions, you have concerns, anything starts up, what's going on. That's what we're there for. So
Okay. Thank you.
yep.
Wes, you're back there. You got anything you want to add?
Yeah, I can add a couple positive comments. Wes Jones, Bannock County Office of Emergency Management. This is just the surface level of all the groups and individuals we work with for wildland fire mitigation activities. The interaction of this group and the coordination is very comparable to perfection. We not only work through the CWPP, which is the Community Wildfire Preparedness Plan, so collectively we identify a lot of these projects. We talk about Raleigh Canyon and Creek area, prescribed burns, and so we're isolating and identifying, and we're using that mechanism to consolidate and coordinate so we have a streamlined approach, so we have some more consistency on projects that need to be addressed in the future. And a lot of the things that we do collectively benefit the entire community. And the biggest thing that's being brought to the forefront is that community awareness. A lot of the times they don't know what they don't know, so we're trying to spend a lot more time getting out and working with the community to give them a better understanding of what the elements are that provide the support and services and then answer their questions. And I think this is a great group to work with.
Great, thank you. Ken, you got anything?
You know, a few years ago, we had that major fire over in Arbon, and I was part of that then. I was completely flabbergasted about the coordination that took place, you know, up on that hill, using our resources and everything else. I just had to, I mean, we had Forest Service, BLM, we had Fire District. I didn't realize how much support group that was brought in with the food, with the water, with everything else. I have to applaud that kind of an effort. And I guess with that, what are we perceiving then is, as Bannock County, which is where we're at today, where's our alligators out there? What do we need to close ranks in? What can we do to continue that? I mean, I'm not going out on BLM ground, but what can we do in Bannock County to form these relationships? With that, having had experience in small cities, what happens in a small city when they take a